Marissa. My name is Jason Miller. I'm going to be your student physical therapist assistant today. What we're going to do today, we're just going to do some exercises. Is that okay to you?
Yes.
Okay. So first we're going to start off with the resistance band to do shoulder flexion, and I'm going to teach her how to do that. So the motion I want you to do is this right here and go all the way up by your ear and just do that slow and controlled going down. All right, one more time. Go up and slow and controlled down. Okay, relax. Okay, so now I'm going to teach her how to do that exercise with the dumbbell. So we're going to do the same motion with that dumbbell. You're just going to go straight up, and then you're going to take your time going down, very slow and controlled. And we would do this for 8 to 10 reps for 8 to 12 reps for 2 to 3 sets. So now I'm going to teach her how to do just regular shoulder extension. So I'm going to hold the band here, and she's going to start kind of slightly flexed. So what I want you to do is go back to where your arm is resting, and then go back slowly, and then do that one more time. Okay, next we're going to do is just keep your hand by your side, and I want you to bring your arm all the way back, and then come back down slow and controlled. Do it one more time. Slow and controlled down. And that was high. Okay, so now what we're going to do is extension. So what I'm going to get her to do is her arm's going to be at 90 degrees of flexion. And so from here, she's going to bring her arm up to body level. And then she's going to go back down slow and controlled. So that's regular extension. And for normal extension, that's for normal extension. For hyper extension, what we're going to do is we're going to start at body level, and we're going to go up like this. And we're going to make sure to watch for substitution, so she needs to stay close to her body. So about right there was where we stop. So from right there, she'll go up, and then she'll slowly go back down. And that would be hyperextension. We would do that for 8 to 12 reps and 2 to 3 sets. Okay, so now I'm going to teach her how to do abduction with a resistance band. And so she's standing on her resistance band. She's got it, let's tighten that up just a little bit. There we go. And now what she's going to do, wrap it around. Okay, now what she's going to do, she's going to go up to the side, all the way up to her ear. And from there, she's going to go back down slow and controlled to her side. We would do that for 8 to 12 reps for 2 to 3 sets. And for abduction, so if you step off that band for me. So wrap it around, okay? So from neutral, she's going to go across her body. All right, go ahead and do that motion. And then go back slow and control. Do it one more time. Go back slow, there you go. All right, and the same thing with the sets and reps. So now I'm going to teach Marissa how to do abduction and adduction. So we're going to start with abduction. So she'll start from neutral, and she's going to go all the way up towards her ear, and then she'll go all the way back down to her side, slow and controlled. For adduction, she would start from neutral, and she would go from neutral to across her body, and then she would go back down to her side. She would do this for 8 to 12 reps for 2 to 3 sets. So now I'm going to teach Marissa how to do scaption elevation. And so she's standing on the resistance band. I'm going to get her to bring her arm up in this motion right here. So go up and then go back down slow and controlled. And this, with her hand placement, this is called full can. And to do an empty can, we'll just add a layer like that, and she'll turn her thumb down to before, and she'll go up and then go back down. And then make sure to stop at 90 so we don't cause any shoulder impingements. And then go back down. Okay, now we're going to do it with a dumbbell. And there, so she'll start from neutral, and she'll go back up like we had it, and then go back down slow and controlled, and then thumb to the ground, and then go back up, stop at 90, and then slow and controlled back down. She would do this for 8 to 12 reps for 2 to 3 sets. So now I'm going to teach Marissa how to do scaption elevation. So first we're going to do a full can with it. So that means her thumb's going to be up, and she's just going to go up. She can go past 90 with this one. So just go ahead and do that motion. Go up, and then go back down, slow and controlled. To do an empty can, she would turn her thumb down inwards, there you go. Start from neutral and then go up, and we'll stop at 90 so we don't cause any shoulder pain, and then just go back down. Okay. She would do this for 8 to 12 reps for 2 to 3 sets. So now I'm going to teach Marissa how to do internal and external rotation. We're going to start with internal rotation. So I'm going to hold the band even with her hand, and she's going to turn her, or bring her arm in towards her and keeping her elbow to her side. Okay, go ahead and perform that. Go ahead and bring it in. Make sure to keep that elbow to your side. There you go. Okay, relax. Now I'm going to go over here to do external rotation, and so what she's going to do, going to keep her elbow to her side, and she's going to bring her hand out. Okay. And come back slow and controlled. Go out and come back in. So she would do this for 8 to 12 reps for 2 to 3 sets. So now I'm going to teach her how to do internal and external rotation with the dumbbell. And so I'm going to have her in side lying. And so from here, so she'll start out at 90, so bring your arm out like that. Yeah, just go ahead and bring it up just a little more. She's going to keep her elbow tucked in, and then she's going to go up into that motion. And make sure to go slow out, and then bring it in. Okay, and then so for the same arm to do external rotation, we'd have her turn over to the other side, but we're just going to go ahead and work the other arm. And so with this one, she's going to keep her elbow tucked in, just as internal rotation, but instead of coming in, she's going to go out. So keep this flex out like 90, and then you're going to bring it out away from your body, and then bring it back in. Bring it up. Oop. Bring it up this way, and then bring it down. Okay. And then just go down slow and controlled, and then go up. And she would do this for 8 to 12 reps for 2 to 3 sets. So now I'm going to teach Marissa how to do horizontal abduction and horizontal adduction. So right now I'm going to teach her how to do abduction. So I'm going to have her bring her arms out like this, and we might just tighten this up just a wee bit, just so we can get some more resistance. So start out kind of forward like this, and she's going to bring it out to the side, and then slow and controlled back in. And then do that one more time. And then bring it back in slow and controlled. For adduction, she keeps one part of it wrapped around, and I grab this end. And so she'll start at this position, and she's going to bring her arm in across her body towards kind of like the other shoulder. There you go. Do it one more time and come back slow and controlled. And for these exercises, we would do 8 to 12 reps and 2 to 3 sets. So now I'm going to teach Marissa how to do scapular elevation. And so I have the resistance band under her feet, and there's no slack in this at all. We need as much tension as possible. So what she's going to do is I want you to bring your shoulder up to my hand, and then slowly go back down. Okay, and keep doing that, and go back down. And so this is with the resistance band. What we would do with the dumbbell is just kind of the same thing. So she would just have that dumbbell in her hand, and she would bring her shoulder up and bring it back down. And she would do this for 8 to 12 reps for 2 to 3 sets. So now I'm going to teach Marissa how to do scapular depression with a resistance band. So she has her hand wrapped up. I have the resistance band up at the top of the door. And so what she's going to do is she's going to shrug her shoulder down by pushing her hand down to the side of her. And my cueing will be to put her scapula into her back pocket. Okay, so now I'm going to teach her how to do this with the dumbbell. So I'm going to have her lying in prone, and she's going to have kind of, if we were doing both of them, we'd have them in a Y, but she's going to do a half a Y for this one. So she's going to have her arm up like this, and she's going to bring it up off the table, and she's, like I said, going to try to put that scapula into the back pocket. And she would do this for 8 to 12 reps for 2 to 3 sets. Okay, good. Go up. There you go. Okay. So now I'm going to teach Marissa how to do protraction of the scapula. And so I have her started here, her resistance band's around her. And so what I'm going to get her to do is I want you to keep your trunk here, and I want you to try to punch my hand. Okay? And try to go slow back. Okay? And she would do this for 8 to 12 sets, 2 to 3 reps. Or, yeah, 2 to 3 sets, 8 to 12 reps. Okay, so now I'm going to teach her how to do protraction of the scapula with a dumbbell. So I'm having her line in supine, and from here, like I said, just try to punch my hand, and then just come back down slowly. Okay, one more time. And she would do this for 8 to 12 reps in 2 to 3 sets. So now I'm going to teach Marissa how to use a resistance band to do scapular retraction. So from here, she's going to come out fully and push and pinch her scapulas together. And then she's going to come together slowly. And I'm just going to come up behind her, make sure she's doing that. Pinch them together. Good. And then go back slow and controlled. And she would do this 8 to 12 reps in 2 to 3 sets. So now we're going to do scapular retraction with the dumbbell. So now I'm going to have her in prone with her arm hanging off the side of the table. And what she's going to do is pinch her, so try to pinch your scapula together. All right, go back down slow and controlled. One more time. Good. Relax. She would do this for 8 to 12 reps in 2 to 3 sets. So now I'm going to teach Marissa how to do elbow flexion with a resistance band. So she stepped on the resistance band. She has no slack in her resistance band, and all I want you to do is just bring that elbow towards, or your hand towards your shoulder. And go back down, slow and control. Go up. And then back down, slow and control. Okay? One more time. And back down. And now we're going to use a dumbbell. And so, in that hand, and we're doing the exact same thing, it's just with a dumbbell. So you're going to go up, and you're going to go back down. Try to come in like that. There you go. Okay. And she would do that for 8 to 12 reps in 2 to 3 sets. Okay, so now I'm going to teach Marissa how to do elbow extension. So I'm going to start with her elbow, or her shoulder at 90 degrees and her elbow at 90 degrees of flexion. And so from here, I'm going to get her to extend her elbow, and then she's going to go back down slow and controlled. So go ahead and do that motion for me. And go back down slow. There you go. And then just come all the way back down to your shoulder. Okay, one more time. And go back up. So now I'm going to teach Marissa how to do shoulder extension with the resistance band. So I have her, she's going to slightly bend forward, and then she's going to have her shoulder back and her elbow flexed at 90, and then she's going to extend it all the way back and go back slow and controlled. So she's going to go back and then slow and controlled. She would do this for 8 to 12 reps and 2 to 3 sets. So now I'm going to teach Marissa how to do pronation and supination with the resistance band. So first we're going to do pronation. So I want you to bring your palm down to the floor. Go ahead and do that motion and come back up slow and controlled. Do it one more time. Come back up slow and controlled. Now to do supination, she's going to start in pronation. And so what I want you to do is palm up to the sky and go back down slow and controlled. One more time. Okay. So now I'm going to teach Marissa how to do supination and pronation with a dumbbell. So she's holding one side of the dumbbell. We're going to make it a little harder on her. So I want you to bring your palm up to the sky. I want you to go slow and control. Okay. And then there you go. And then once she's in supination, I want her to go back down in pronation. Okay. So now I'm going to teach Marissa how to do wrist flexion and extension with a resistance band. So she's going to have her palm up toward the ceiling, and she's got her feet on the resistance band. And so from here, she's going to pull her wrist, or pull her hand towards her body, and do that and go back down slow and controlled, and then go up. And to do extension, she's just going to turn her palm down to the floor We can probably unravel it more because that looks uncomfortable. So from there, she's gonna go bring her back of her wrist or back of her hand towards her body and go back down slow and control. She would do both of these exercises for 8 to 12 reps and 2 to 3 sets. So now I'm going to teach Marissa how to do wrist flexion and extension with a dumbbell. So to do flexion, we are going to have her palm up and she's going to bring the dumbbell towards her. Then go back down slow and controlled, making sure that her elbow stays next to her body. And to do extension, she's going to do palm down and she's going to bring the back of her wrist towards her and she's going to go down slow and controlled. Okay, and she would do these exercises for 8 to 12 reps and 2 to 3 sets. Now I'm going to teach Miss Holly how to do ulnar and radial deviations with a resistance band. So first I'm going to get you to do radial deviation. It's that first one that we practiced.
Okay.
So I want you to bring your thumb towards your body.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and do that motion. Oh, let me do it that way. Do it again. Okay, and then come back slow and controlled on that last part.
Okay.
Okay, now we're going to do ulnar deviation, which is bringing your hand out away from your body.
Okay.
So go ahead and do that motion for me. There you go. Okay, relax. Now I'm going to teach Miss Holly how to do ulnar deviation. So now I'm going to get you to point your thumb down toward the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then go back to where we started. And then do that one more time, and then go back down slow and controlled. Now I'm going to teach Miss Holly how to do radial deviation, and so she's going to keep her elbow tucked in, and she's going to bring her thumb towards herself or towards her body.
Okay.
So if you go ahead and do that motion for me, okay, and then go back slow and controlled. Do it one more time. All right.